It finishes Manchester United 3, Tottenham 2, a thoroughly entertaining game at Old Trafford. Let's just take a look at what that means for the table for United. They don't play for a while now, as the chasing pack will play those games in hand, but they currently sit 2 points clear of Arsenal in 5th. However, Arteta's side do have 4 matches in hand over Ranitz's side. Let's welcome in, shall we? Mark Ogden and Don Hutchison with us. Don, let's start with you. Never write Ronaldo off.
Never, ever, ever. And he's supposed to be the problem, isn't he? I mean, Dan, when you sometimes come away from a game and you think, oh, that's tricky to analyse, this was one of the easiest games in your life to try and analyse. Both teams horrendous at the back. Both teams so bad it made for a great game. And then the top man scores a hat-trick. If Ronaldo was playing for Spurs, Spurs win that 3-2. He was so good today, but my word, it was a great game to watch. But the defending from both sides was awful.
We won't dwell on the awful bit. Let's dwell on the positive bit, certainly from a Manchester United and Ronaldo fan perspective, Stevie. He was the difference today.
Oh, absolutely.
By a mile. Listen,
I know he's 37 and he's not going to be able to do that every time he steps on the field. But it was just a reminder of how good he is, how good a football brain he is. He knows where to be at the right time. He judges the flight of the ball and the pace of the ball, and he's passing and he's finishing. I mean, today was just one of those days where he was on, and there was absolutely nothing Tottenham could do to stop it. I actually feel for Tottenham a little bit. Ronaldo, no question, deserved to be on the winning side today. But I think Tottenham deserved something out of the game. Because of Ronaldo's first goal, I think that is what opened the game up completely. And from there, I enjoy watching it. Yeah. Spurs absolutely tried to go forward. Makes you wonder why they don't do that more often. But then I guess the fact that they lose 3 goals tells you why not. But they were going forward. They get the goal. Again, excitement. The fact that Ronaldo again, pretty soon after the equaliser, scores, makes it even more open. And so the game was just an open, attacking game of football with both sides trying to score goals. And of course, the top man, the man of the match, gets 3 in classic Ronaldo style.
Yeah, Ronaldo now top goal scorer in all competitive matches in the history of the game, Don. After seeing Messi and his disappointing performance against Real Madrid midweek, a lot of people on social media bringing up the GOAT debate once again. Does the fact that you've got Cristiano Ronaldo still doing it at 37 and Messi clearly in decline have an effect on that discussion?
I just think it's one of them, Dan. You're not going to convince any Messi lovers to switch to Ronaldo and vice versa. I just think you like one or you have a preference for one. But I get what you're saying, and I think that comes into the conversation for sure. I mean, look at his goals record. I mean, it's just... I mean, listen, most pros, Dan, haven't got those appearances. I didn't make 807 appearances. I was close to 500 appearances. This guy's got 807 goals and counting. And do you know what? It might sound a crazy thing to say, but I just think you sort of semi-build a side around him, and you more or less say to Ronaldo or the team in and around him, when you buy better players and give him better players to play with, go and play as a number 10. Go and play in the 18-yard box and be devastated when you're in the 18-yard box, because I think undoubtedly the quality around him is not obviously matching his standards. That's obviously for sure and quite evident. But there's a little bit more to come, and that's quite scary.
What's interesting, Stevie, we talk about Messi and Ronaldo a lot. Yeah. We have done since this show began. Now it isn't a question, is it? If you're having a pick-up game, who you pick first?
No.
And I think that's the first time, really, certainly this season.
Well, that's unfair. Come on. We shouldn't be trying to judge who the GOAT is with 2 players who are 37 and 34?
No, I understand that. But this is the first time there has been such clear daylight between these 2 players and the quality that they offer.
Yes.
But if we're having a game right now, you're picking Ronaldo over Messi, and not just you, the majority of people are.
And I think the reason for that is because they're 2 different players. Ronaldo's a goal scorer. And so I think that's why he'll continue to score goals, because Messi's a footballer. So if Messi's involved deeper in the game and involved more in the game, which means he needs his legs more to run around, he'll do more miles. They're 2 completely different players. Completely. And as I said, Ronaldo for me, right now, yes, because he is an out-and-out goal scorer. That's not what you what you think of when you think of Messi. You think of passing, you think of running past players. Yes, he scores goals, but you think of in football terms. Whereas Ronaldo, this guy's just all about putting the ball in the net.
Yeah. What are they going to do with him, Mark?
Well, I think this one is basically down to Ronaldo rather than United, because he's got a year left in his contract at the end of this season, and I don't think Ronaldo will be told by Man United what his future is. It will be up to him. I think he will say, right, well, do I want to stay here? Do I want to be part of this so-called project? Who's the new manager going to be? Because I can't see Ronaldo being told that, yes, you're staying next season, Cristiano, but you're going to be on the bench. So it'll be up to him. I don't think United is the club they are. They are still a club that puts the commercial value of a player quite highly. You know, all we heard tonight was that Tom Brady was there watching Ronaldo. The focus was on the wrong thing. It should have been on the pitch rather than the guy in the director's box. So United are too often kind of hypnotised by the star name. So I don't think United will push him out. I think it'd be a question of Ronaldo thinking, do I want to be here next season? Do I want another season like this one where I've been surrounded by players who aren't as good as me? We're not winning the games we should be winning. You know, I imagine he wanted to go to United and find a way to win a trophy before he sails off into the sunset wherever he goes. There's no real chance of that this season, unless they win the Champions League, which there's no real chance of that this season. And next season, I think, you know, you can't really see them pushing for the big honours next year. So it'll be up to Cristiano Ronaldo. United will happily let him stay, I think, because I don't think they're prepared to say, on your way, Cristiano. So he's the one that's got the decision to make. And as it stands right now, he looked quite angry tonight. I thought it looked like he'd proved a point. There wasn't a lot of warmth towards his teammates and Ralph Rangnick as he walked off the pitch. So he might be thinking, right, I've shown you what I can do, but this is my season, I'm off. But we'll wait and see.
Yeah, did Rangnick get it completely right then, Mark? Obviously not playing him in the match against City, questions about whether or not he was fit. Did that motivate him for this sort of performance, or is that just too easy to say?
No, I think that has motivated him. I think other things have motivated him as well. The fact that I do think he's frustrated by what surrounds him at times. I think, you know, I think too many players at United in the last 2 or 3 seasons, certainly under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, have had an easy ride. They've had it easy. They've been allowed to, you know, be inconsistent, have poor performances. And Ronaldo's come in and he's seen these so-called star players who have delivered, you know, one game every 4 or 5, and he's thinking, well, why aren't they as dedicated as I am, as determined as I am? So I think there's a lot of things that have kind of been in that performance. But certainly last week, I mean, I'd seen Ronaldo quite a bit since the turn of the year, and he's been poor. You know, against Middlesbrough in the FA Cup, he couldn't get away from his defenders. He looked like he was shot. He really did. But tonight, he's 37. Looks like he was 27. He was fantastic tonight. But I suppose if you look at his game in the round, he didn't contribute a lot, apart from a hat-trick, which is not a bad return no matter what you do around the pitch.
It's not bad. Mark, you talk about the fact it's in his hands. Where would he go, though, away from United?
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? At 37, I think a big factor now is what happens with Portugal in the World Cup. If they get through the World Cup, then he'll want to be in a league that's competitive, that he can keep sharp. If Portugal miss out, if they lose to Turkey or Italy in the playoffs coming up, then really, he's got nothing left to achieve. There's no World Cup there as his kind of swan song. So if that happens and they get knocked out of the World Cup and he gets to the summer with no World Cup to look forward to, he might think, you know, maybe go back to Portugal, to Sporting Lisbon for a year or 2, maybe go to the Middle East. I think that's where the money is. That's where, if he wants a similar kind of lifestyle, I think he's going to have to go to Qatar or Saudi Arabia, which doesn't really feel fitting for a player of Ronaldo's calibre. I'm not sure he'll go to the MLS. I keep hearing about Inter Miami, but I don't know. I'm not sure. I wouldn't be surprised if he went back to Portugal for a year or 2, but I think ideally, all parties would want him to stay at United, but I think he has to be convinced that it'd be worth staying next season.
Well, of course, Champions League would be a big carrot to keep him there. Just take a look at the odds to qualify for the Champions League next season. Arsenal still favourites. I mentioned they got all those games in hand, but of course that victory today certainly didn't hurt United's chances. But you look at it, Stevie, and Arsenal really need to muck this up, don't they?
Well, Arsenal's got some tough games.
Well, they've got your boys, obviously.
Yeah, they've got Chelsea, they've got Man United. You know, they got some easy games. But with 4 games in hand and only 2 points behind, there is no question you should back yourself.
Yep.
And there's no reason to suggest the results they're getting now won't continue. You know, they're pretty solid at the back. They've started scoring some goals, which they weren't doing previously, but then they weren't losing. And so all the things they're doing are completely unlike all the teams around them. Man United wins and they lose and they draw, you know. You're not quite sure what's going on.
Yeah.
Arsenal's been the most consistent recently, so yes, it's absolutely theirs to make a mess of.
Spurs done, Don?
Yes, I think so, Dan. I tweeted before the game. I think it was a massive chance for both teams to put a nail in the coffin of either side. I just think they're too inconsistent, Dan. I think in the last 11 games, I think it is, they've never gone back-to-back wins. It's been a win, a loss, a win, a loss. They can't get any momentum going. You know, Antonio Conte must have been looking at that performance today, because I agree with Stevie. I thought they deserved something out of the game. At 2-2, I'm thinking Spurs could win this. And it was one of them where, if they really believed in themselves, the Tottenham players, if they really thought they could win at Old Trafford, they would have done. Not saying it was that easy, but they didn't sort of back themselves. At 2-2, they thought, are we quite good enough? We might ship one at the other end. Should we stay for a 2-2? We're not sure what to do. That's not Antonio Conte's way of thinking. That's the players on the pitch thinking. So I'm not convinced now they can get top four.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.